Have you ever noticed that the more money people make, the faster they seem to spend it? Someone gets a raise. A few months later, they have a nicer phone, a nicer car, more subscriptions, more monthly payments. Yet somehow, they don't feel richer. Meanwhile, there are other people who make similar incomes but seem to build wealth year after year. What's the difference? It's not always how much money they earn. It's often what they choose to buy first. Because every purchase does one of two things. It either makes your future easier, or it makes your future more expensive. Today, I want to share 10 things that I believe are worth spending money on before most other purchases. These aren't luxury items. They're not flashy. Nobody is going to be impressed when they see them. But these purchases can improve your finances, your health, your productivity, and your quality of life for years. Let's start with number 1. 1. A simple home cooking setup. One of the most expensive habits in modern life isn't gambling. It isn't luxury cars. It isn't designer clothes. It's convenience food. Think about it. Ordering takeout feels cheap. A coffee here, a lunch there, a delivery dinner after a long day. Nothing seems expensive individually, but that's exactly why it becomes dangerous. Many people spend thousands of dollars every year on food they could prepare at home for a fraction of the cost. And here's the surprising part. You don't need a professional kitchen. You don't need expensive appliances. You don't need culinary school. You need a few basics. A quality chef's knife, a reliable pan, a cutting board. That's it. When you can cook 5 or 6 simple meals confidently, your relationship with money changes. Suddenly, you're not paying restaurant prices every day. You're buying ingredients. And ingredients are dramatically cheaper than prepared meals. Imagine saving just $10 each time you choose a home-cooked meal instead of takeout. Do that 4 times a week. That's over $2,000 saved every year. Not because you sacrificed your lifestyle, because you upgraded a skill. And skills continue paying dividends long after the purchase.
2. A financial system. Most people think money problems come from not earning enough. Sometimes that's true. But often the real problem is not knowing where the money goes. Have you ever checked your bank account and wondered, how did I spend that much this month? That's because money disappears quietly. Subscriptions, impulse purchases, food delivery, streaming services, random online shopping. They don't look dangerous individually. Together, they're powerful. That's why one of the smartest investments you can make is a system that tracks your finances. Whether it's a budgeting app, a spreadsheet, or even a notebook. The goal isn't restriction. The goal is awareness. Because you can't improve what you don't measure. The moment you start tracking spending, something interesting happens. You naturally spend more intentionally. And when that happens, saving money becomes easier without feeling painful. 3. A cashback credit card, used correctly. Now let's talk about something controversial. Credit cards. Some people think they're amazing. Others think they're financial traps. The truth is, they're both. Used irresponsibly, credit cards can destroy your finances. Used responsibly, they can become a useful financial tool. Here's the key rule. Never spend money on a credit card that you don't already have. If you can't pay the balance in full every month, the rewards are meaningless. Interest will erase any benefit. But if you're disciplined, cashback cards allow you to earn rewards on purchases you were already planning to make. Groceries, gas, utilities, internet, insurance. Those expenses exist whether you use cash, debit, or credit. One option pays you nothing. The other gives you money back. The catch? You must pay the balance in full every month. Otherwise, the interest destroys the benefit. Used correctly, a cashback card becomes a small financial machine working in the background.
4. Retirement investments. Let's do a quick thought experiment. Imagine 2 people. Person A starts investing at age 22. Person B starts investing at age 32. Both invest consistently. Both earn similar returns. Who ends up with more money? Most people assume person B can catch up by contributing more. But time is incredibly powerful. Money compounds, which means your gains begin producing their own gains. And eventually, those gains start producing gains too. That's how wealth grows. Slowly at first, then suddenly. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting until they feel rich enough to invest. The problem is that investing is often what creates wealth in the first place. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need to predict the market. You don't need to watch financial news every day. You simply need to start. Even small contributions today can become surprisingly large amounts decades from now. The hardest part isn't investing. The hardest part is beginning. 5. A reliable used car. Cars are emotional purchases. That's why people often make expensive mistakes. The moment someone starts earning more money, they imagine themselves driving something newer, something faster, something more impressive. But here's the problem. Cars lose value, and they lose value quickly. The newest car on the lot often experiences its biggest depreciation in the first few years. Meanwhile, a well-maintained used vehicle can provide nearly the same transportation for a fraction of the cost. Think about the purpose of a car. Its job is simple. Get you safely from point A to point B. That's it. A reliable vehicle creates freedom. An expensive vehicle often creates payments. And those payments can quietly limit your future opportunities. The goal isn't driving the cheapest car possible. The goal is driving a vehicle that serves your life without controlling your finances. 6. A better mattress. Here's a statistic most people never think about. If you live to 80 years old, you'll spend roughly 1/3 of your life sleeping. 1/3. Imagine spending 1/3 of your life sitting in an uncomfortable chair. You'd replace it immediately. Yet many people sleep on terrible mattresses for years. Then they wonder why they're exhausted, why their backs hurt, why they struggle to focus. The reality is that sleep affects everything. Energy, mood, decision-making, productivity, health, relationships. When sleep improves, life often improves. And unlike many purchases, a quality mattress provides value every single night. You don't need the most expensive option available. You simply need something that supports your body and helps you recover properly. Because tomorrow starts tonight. 7. Your workspace. Whether you're a student, employee, freelancer, or business owner, your environment matters. A lot. Think about how many hours you spend working. Now imagine doing that work in a setup that constantly creates discomfort. Neck pain, back pain, eye strain, distractions, poor posture. Over time, those small frustrations add up. That's why investing in your workspace can produce enormous returns. A comfortable chair, a larger monitor, a better keyboard, good lighting, an organized desk. These improvements don't just make work more pleasant, they often make work more effective. And small productivity gains repeated every day become meaningful advantages over time. 8. Skills that increase your income. Most purchases lose value. Education is different. When you learn a valuable skill, nobody can take it away. The right skill can increase your earning potential for years. Maybe it's learning sales. Maybe it's coding. Maybe it's marketing. Maybe it's artificial intelligence. Maybe it's communication. The exact skill matters less than the principle. Invest in abilities that create opportunities. Because unlike a gadget, a skill can continue generating returns long after you've paid for it. A course might cost a few $100s. A new skill could increase your income by thousands, or tens of thousands, or more. Few investments offer that kind of upside. 9. Financial education. Most people spend years learning math, science, history, literature. Yet many graduate school without understanding taxes, investing, debt, budgeting, or retirement planning. Then they're expected to make major financial decisions for the rest of their lives. That doesn't make much sense.
which is why financial education is one of the highest return investments available. One good book can save you from a costly mistake. One lesson can change decades of decisions. One idea can completely alter your relationship with money. The people who succeed financially aren't always the smartest. They're often the people who understand how money works. And fortunately, that knowledge is available to anyone willing to learn.
10. Your health. Let's finish with the most important one, your health. Because every other item on this list becomes less valuable if your health disappears. Many people wait until there's a problem before taking action. They wait for pain. They wait for symptoms. They wait for a diagnosis. But prevention is often far cheaper than treatment. Regular checkups, exercise, healthy food, good sleep, stress management, mental health support. These things may not feel urgent today. That's exactly why they're so important. The best time to protect your health is before you need to. Because when your health is strong, everything becomes easier. Work becomes easier. Relationships become easier. Money becomes easier. Life becomes easier. And that's a return on investment that no stock market can match. 11. Conclusion. So if you suddenly had extra money tomorrow, I wouldn't rush to buy luxury items. I wouldn't rush to impress strangers. And I definitely wouldn't rush to upgrade things that are already working fine. Instead, I'd focus on purchases that improve my future. Things that save time, increase income, protect health, build skills, reduce expenses, and create opportunities. Because wealth isn't built by spending more money. It's built by spending money better. Now I'm curious. If you could only choose one item from this list, which one would you buy first? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe because we talk about money, self-improvement, and building a better future every week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.